She walked in as a customer. They treated her like she didn't belong. 10 minutes later, they were all out of a job. It wasn't about the money. Monica Traylor had plenty of that. She was 44 years old, born and raised in Wichita Falls, Texas, and the CEO of a tech firm that had doubled in value 2 years in a row. Her company, Traylonix Financial, had just acquired 3 regional banks across the Midwest. One of them had branches stretching through Ohio, including this one, on East Livingston Avenue in Columbus. It was just another Tuesday. She pulled into the parking lot in her silver Tesla, parked near the front, and grabbed her black leather tote. No assistants, no drivers, no security. Just Monica, in black slacks, a navy blouse, and her natural curls pulled back into a low puff, gold hoops, clean nails. The kind of woman who didn't need to say much to hold a room. She stepped inside the bank at 9:03 a.m., just after they opened. The air smelled faintly of fresh coffee and copier ink. A middle-aged man in khakis and a name badge stood at the front desk. He looked up, but didn't speak. She gave a polite nod, then walked toward the business services desk like she had a right to be there, because she did. Behind the glass counter, 2 tellers were chatting. One, thin, white, red lipstick, tight bun. The other, older, possibly Indian, flipping through a manila folder. Neither looked up immediately. A woman with a Coach purse and oversized sunglasses stepped in behind Monica and walked straight to the personal banking line. She got a smile. Monica waited and waited. Finally, the red lipstick teller looked up. Her nameplate read Shelby. "Yes?" she asked, like Monica was interrupting something. "I'm here to speak with someone about the transition paperwork for the business accounts. My firm completed the acquisition last week. I just want to ensure we're on the same page before Friday." Shelby gave a short laugh. "You'll need an appointment for that. We don't just handle those kinds of things at the counter." She said it with a half smile, like Monica should have known better. "I called yesterday," Monica said calmly. "They told me someone named Devin would be available between 9 and noon. Shelby looked around, then turned back. "Devin isn't in yet. You can have a seat." Monica turned and looked at the 3 empty chairs behind her. She glanced at the clock on the wall, 9:07. "Would you mind letting someone know I'm here? I won't take long." Shelby rolled her eyes, literally rolled them, and tapped on her screen like she was suddenly swamped. "I'll let someone know," she said, without looking up again. But that wasn't the part that bothered Monica the most. Monica sat quietly in the lobby, watching as time ticked past. A flat-screen TV on the wall played a muted segment of morning news, while a soft instrumental version of Ain't No Mountain High Enough played over the speakers. She tried to focus, but her eyes kept drifting to the counter. 10 minutes passed, then 15. Customers came and went. A middle-aged white man in a blue golf shirt asked about transferring funds from an investment account. Shelby smiled at him, laughed, asked about his daughter. He left with a handshake and a receipt. Monica stood up, calmly walked to the counter again. "Excuse me," she said. "Has Devin arrived?" Shelby gave her a tight smile. "Still not in, but I did let someone know you're here." Monica glanced toward the offices. "May I speak with whoever's available then?" "Ma'am, I said we'll call you when someone's ready." Monica nodded slowly. "Okay." She turned around and walked back to her seat, passing a couple who had just walked in. They were greeted immediately, taken to an office. The man gave Monica a quick glance, then looked away just as quickly. Another 5 minutes. Monica stood up again, her patience wearing thinner now, but her expression still composed. This time she went past the counter toward the hallway where the offices were. A young black woman in a headset tried to intercept her. "Hi, ma'am, can I help you?" "I'm looking for Devin," Monica replied, "or whoever's available for a quick business account inquiry. I called ahead yesterday." The young woman hesitated. She looked down at her tablet, then back up. "Devin's not in. Let me just double-check the schedule. Who did you say you were?" "Monica Traylor?" Something shifted in the woman's face. Her eyes blinked a little faster. She recognized the name. Monica kept her tone gentle. "Could you let your branch manager know I'm here?" Of course, yes. I'll let Ms. Lehman know right now." Back in the lobby, Monica sat again. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from her COO, Ellis Doucet. "Everything smooth at the branch?" She stared at the screen, thought about replying yes, thought about lying. Instead, she typed, "Not quite. Give me 10 minutes." As she slid her phone back into her bag, she heard someone mutter behind the glass counter. "Not sure why she's still sitting here," Shelby said in a low voice, but not low enough. "She's not even dressed for the suite." Her coworker laughed. Right? Some people think because they have a business card, they own the place. Monica's jaw clenched, but she didn't move, didn't flinch. Not yet. A white-haired man in a charcoal suit stepped through the door, regional director name tag. Just from the way the front staff straightened up, Monica knew he wasn't expected this morning. He made a beeline for Monica's seat. "Ms. Traylor?" he asked. She stood. "Yes. I'm Thomas Beck, regional director. I believe there's been a misunderstanding. May we speak in private?" He glanced behind him, not at Monica, but at the staff. His expression wasn't friendly. Monica smiled politely. "We can speak here." Thomas hesitated, then nodded. "Of course." He turned to the front desk. His voice carried now. "Everyone on the floor, please step into the conference room right now." Shelby looked confused. "Sorry, why?" "You'll be briefed in 5 minutes. Conference room, now." The silence that followed was heavy. Shelby and the others slowly stepped away, clearly rattled. One whispered something to another, but no one laughed this time. Monica reached for her phone, already dialing. But this wasn't the moment the room would remember most. That part came next. Thomas Beck stood still, arms crossed, facing the office hallway like he was waiting for a fire alarm to go off. Monica didn't speak yet. She just scrolled her phone, thumb steady, as if she were checking a grocery list. She wasn't angry. She was calculating. Finally, she looked up and said, "Get Ellis on the line." Thomas didn't hesitate. He reached into his pocket and tapped his own screen. "He's on standby." The two of them stood near the glass door, while inside the conference room, 5 employees stared at the table like school kids waiting for the principal. Monica didn't look at them yet. She didn't need to. "I'm not here to embarrass anyone," she said softly. "That's not how I lead." Thomas gave a quick nod, quiet. "But if people can't treat clients with basic decency, they don't belong anywhere near a financial institution, especially not one that now operates under my name." Thomas's mouth twitched like he was suppressing a sigh. "Understood." At that moment, Devin finally appeared in the hallway, looking breathless, shirt untucked on one side. He slowed when he saw Monica, then he saw Thomas, then the staff in the conference room. "Is this?" he started. Monica looked him dead in the eye. "It's handled." Devin glanced down, unsure whether to sit, leave, or melt. Thomas stepped forward, opened the door to the conference room, and said firmly, "Miss Traylor has a few words." The room fell even quieter, if that were possible. Monica walked in without raising her voice. No dramatic pause, no theatrics, just facts. "I came here today on behalf of Traylonix Financial. We closed the acquisition of this bank chain last Friday. I've met with over a dozen branches this week. Every visit has been respectful, some even warm. This one, however," she let the sentence hang. "I sat in that lobby for over 30 minutes. I was told to wait, then ignored, talked about, dismissed. None of you knew who I was. That part doesn't bother me. I don't need special treatment. But what does matter is how you treat people you don't know." Shelby shifted in her chair, eyes glued to the tabletop. The others sat frozen. Monica turned slightly. "Shelby, right?" Shelby nodded once, barely. "Can you tell me why the woman who came in after me, twice, was served before me?" No answer. "Or why you commented on whether I looked like I belonged in the business suite area?" Still no answer. Thomas stood with his arms folded in the corner, watching the floor. Monica continued, "I'm not angry, but I'm disappointed, and I have every reason to be." She pulled her phone back out and tapped once. The screen lit up with a message. "Effective immediately," she said. "Shelby Langston, Derek Hanley, and Patricia Mehta are released from this location. You'll receive a formal termination letter from HR by noon. Security access is revoked, and your final checks will be delivered by mail." The silence was thick now. You could almost feel the heat of it. Patricia, who'd been silent the whole time, whispered, "Wait, you're firing us?" Monica looked at her. "Yes, but this is how we've always—" Monica raised a brow. "Exactly." She turned to Thomas. "The rest will stay for retraining. Full oversight. You'll coordinate with Ellis. I want a follow-up report by Friday. You know how I like it. Clean, blunt, and real." Thomas nodded. Then Monica said something that didn't just sting, it cut. I'm not here to scare anyone, but I'm also not here to babysit grown folks who can't treat a stranger with respect. And just like that, she left the room. As she walked back through the lobby, the young black woman at the front, headset still on, stood and gave her a nod. This time, Monica nodded back. But this wasn't about revenge. It was about something deeper. And the real conversation hadn't even started yet. By the time Monica stepped outside, the air had shifted. Clouds were rolling in from the west, thick and low, casting long shadows across the parking lot. She walked to her car but didn't get in. Instead, she leaned against the door, arms crossed, eyes calm. Inside the bank, panic was settling in. Shelby had locked herself in the break room. Derek sat on the edge of the conference room table, his face pale. Patricia was crying softly, mouthing something no one could hear. Thomas stood in the center of the floor, phone pressed to his ear. "Yes, Ellis," he said. No, she didn't raise her voice once. "Yeah, it's handled. Fully." He hung up, then turned to Devin. "You dodged a bullet," Thomas said. "If you had said even one thing sideways this morning." Devin raised both hands. I didn't even know she was here until I heard her name." Thomas nodded. "And that's part of the problem. She was in the lobby for almost 40 minutes. Meanwhile, in the parking lot, Monica was still standing still, like she wasn't done yet. Because she wasn't. A blue Toyota pulled in. Out stepped a man in a charcoal blazer, dark slacks, salt and pepper goatee. Ellis Doucet, COO of Trelonix Financial, walked like someone who had fired people before breakfast and closed a $10 million deal by lunch. He joined Monica by her car. "You good?" he asked. She nodded. "Want me to go in?" She shook her head. "Already handled, but we'll need HR to draft a proper retraining module." Ellis exhaled. "I'll write it up tonight. Want me to talk to the press team? This might leak." "I hope it does," Monica said quietly. Ellis paused. "What about that young girl at the front? The one with the headset?" Monica smiled for the first time that day. "She's a keeper, professional, didn't try to block me, and she listened." Ellis made a note on his phone. "Got it. Promote?" "Eventually, but first I want to meet her." Inside the branch, Thomas pulled the remaining staff back into the conference room. "She's gone," he said, "but don't mistake that for being forgotten." Everyone looked up. "I've been with this bank chain for 20 years. I've seen 4 different acquisitions. I've seen executives come in, cut people, smile for cameras, and disappear. Monica Traylor is not that kind of executive." He paused, letting the room absorb that. "She remembers names. She watches behaviors. She makes decisions based on how people treat the ones who don't look like money." Devin asked, "So what happens now?" Thomas looked around. "Now? Now you get a second chance. But I swear to you, if any of you act like today didn't mean anything, it'll be your last." He turned to the young woman with the headset, who'd returned quietly to her seat. "What's your name again?" "Janelle. Janelle Rowe." Thomas smiled. "Ms. Traylor asked to speak with you before she leaves." Janelle blinked, unsure if she heard correctly. "Me?" "Yes. Now." Outside, Monica stood tall as Janelle approached. The young woman was nervous, holding a small notepad like it was a shield. "You called for me, ma'am?" Monica smiled. "You can call me Monica." "Yes, ma'am, Monica." "Tell me something," Monica said. "Why didn't you brush me off when I said I was here for Devin?" Janelle shifted her weight. "Because, well, I recognized your name. I read all the internal memos, but also, even if I hadn't, you didn't seem like someone who came in without a reason." Monica raised an eyebrow. "Meaning?" "I just mean you walked in like you were here for a purpose. People like that deserve to be heard, no matter who they are." Monica nodded, satisfied. "You ever thought about project management?" she asked. Janelle's eyes widened. Eventually, yes." "Good. You'll be hearing from Ellis. Keep doing what you're doing, and don't let people train you out of it." Janelle smiled, overwhelmed. "Thank you." Monica got in her car, engine silent. She didn't look back. But what was said inside that branch wouldn't stay there, and one of those conversations was about to change someone's entire direction in life. The following morning, the branch didn't open at 9 o'clock. The doors were still locked at 9:17, with a small sign taped to the glass, closed until 10:30 a.m. for staff reorganization and compliance briefing. Inside, the mood was fragile. The same room that held gossip and eye rolls a day ago now felt like a courtroom. Thomas Beck stood at the front of the conference room with a printed stack of new training protocols. Devin sat in the far corner, reading over them like they were a final exam. Janelle was seated up front this time, pen out, taking notes. No one questioned why. Across town, in a modest brick building that held Trailonix's regional HR office, Monica sat with a small group of executives. She wasn't speaking much. She didn't need to. She was reading resumes, performance reports, staff files, one by one. Ellis sat beside her, flipping through his own stack. "You sure about keeping Devin?" he asked. Monica didn't look up. "I am." He was careless, not malicious. And people like that, if corrected early, can grow. Ellis nodded. "You're playing the long game." "I always am." He set his folder down. "So what's the plan for that branch?" "We put Janelle on a 6-month development track. Rotate in a stronger assistant manager to shadow her. Let the team get used to a new center of gravity." Ellis smirked. "You're betting on her." "She bet on me when no one else did," Monica replied. Back at the branch, Shelby, Derek, and Patricia were gone. Their names stripped from the internal system before lunch. Their desks reassigned. Their emails bounced. Thomas stood at the center of the room as if holding the floor together with sheer presence. "You all need to understand something," he said. "This wasn't about one morning. This wasn't even about one customer. It was about a culture that tolerated looking people up and down instead of eye to eye." No one argued. Monica Traylor has the authority to shut this entire branch down and rehire from scratch. She didn't. She gave you a chance to fix it. Don't waste that. Devin raised his hand, not high, but just enough. "What does fixing it look like?" Thomas looked at him directly. "It looks like humility. It looks like making sure the next Monica who walks through those doors gets respect without needing to prove she deserves it." Devin nodded. In the break room later, Janelle found herself alone, scrolling her phone between tasks. She looked up as Devin walked in, holding 2 cups of coffee. "Hey," he said, offering her one. She took it, cautious but polite. "Thanks." He hesitated, then said, "I'm sorry." "For what?" "For not recognizing what was going on yesterday. For not stepping in. For making her wait." Janelle gave a small nod. "Appreciate that." "She chose to keep me on," he added, "after all that." "Because she saw something," Janelle said. "She doesn't waste time on people she can't grow." Devin smiled a little. "You sound like you know her." "I don't. Not personally, but I see her. That's enough." Meanwhile, Monica stood outside a different branch, one she hadn't visited before, smaller, less foot traffic. She didn't announce herself this time either. Just walked in, calm and quiet, like a woman with errands to run. The teller greeted her before the door even closed. "Morning. How can I help you?" Monica smiled. No test this time, just business. She cashed a check, transferred funds, asked a few questions. At the end, she handed over a business card. "If your manager has time, I'd like to speak with them for a moment, just to say thank you." The teller glanced at the card, read the name, blinked. I'll let them know right away." Monica waited, sipping the water she'd been offered without having to ask. This time, there was no tension, no calculation, just a quiet kind of satisfaction. But she wasn't done yet, not until the people watching from the sidelines understood that what happened wasn't just about banking. Monica didn't need applause. She never had. What happened at that Columbus branch wasn't a power move. It wasn't even about revenge. It was about standards. And not just for employees, for human beings. Later that week, she sat across from a group of interns at Trailonix headquarters in Cincinnati. 18 young professionals, fresh degrees, polished shoes, and nervous smiles. She held their attention, not with volume, but with clarity. "I'm going to tell you something no textbook will," she said, folding her hands on the table. "How you treat people when you think they can't help you, that's the part of your resume people remember." One intern, a tall woman with braids and a pen poised over her notepad, asked, "Was it hard not to react? In that moment, I mean?" Monica smiled. "Of course it was. Every part of me wanted to flip the whole table over. But yelling doesn't teach. What teaches is silence that makes people hear themselves. They scribbled furiously. She stood, walked slowly to the whiteboard, and wrote 4 words. Respect doesn't wear labels. Then turned back to face them. You'll walk into rooms one day where people will measure you by your skin, your tone, your name, your shoes. Let them. But don't you measure yourself by their scale. A few nodded. One of the interns wiped his eye quietly. Monica continued, "What happened at that branch? That happens every day. It just doesn't always end the way mine did. But don't make the mistake of thinking this is a story about money or titles." She paused. "It's a story about reminders. And mine was simple. Never let the quiet ones be the ones you underestimate." That afternoon, her calendar was full, but she carved out 10 minutes to call Janelle. Just to say, "You made the right choice when no one else did. Keep that instinct. It'll take you further than any training manual." And it would. Because when promotions were discussed in December, Janelle's name was already circling. Not because she went viral, not because she got lucky, but because someone powerful noticed her not doing what others did. That's how change starts. Not in boardrooms, not in headlines, but in those in-between moments where someone decides to do the right thing, even when no one's watching. Now here's the part where you come in. If you ever find yourself in a position of power, even a little, use it to raise standards, not voices. If you ever witness someone being treated like they don't belong, don't look away. Because the truth is, nobody should have to wear their resume to be treated like a person. So tell me, what would you have done in Monica's shoes? And more importantly, what will you do the next time you see it happen to someone else? Let that question sit with you, because the world changes in moments like these, one person at a time.